In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make content like this automatically, where you'll never have to write another piece of content ever again. So this is an example of a character I'm using for the brand Scalesolo. And what we're going to talk about is how I'm able to automate this whole system where the content is created automatically based off of her brand voice. So first thing, when you actually log into Scalesolo, what you want to do is actually come into brand profiles. Now, at the moment, you can see I have 4 different profiles that I've been working with. Now, if you click on new profile, what you're going to see is empty settings for all 6 of these categories. What you want to do is walk through each of these and fill them in correctly. So identity, the most important thing is your business name. All of this information is going to be used when you're making your scripts, your prompts, your images, videos, all that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure it's as accurate as possible. Next, you want to go to brand. If you have a logo, you can upload it here. Under voice is one of the most important parts of the whole app. The brand voicing is what's going to be used with the AI to generate every script, every image, every video. So you want to be as specific as possible on what you're actually looking for. Up here, you can actually do what's called import the brand Bible. Now, the brand Bible is just a huge document of all the information about your specific company, brand, and potentially character personality. There's 3 ways to do it. You can either take the brand interview and it'll ask you 8 short questions and it will actually input the information here. You can paste it in with plain text, or you can use our extraction prompt. So you basically would copy this and then put this into your AI platform, whether it's Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and then tell it that you want to create a brand Bible for blank. So it could be for a company that you already have information on in your AI, or it could be on a avatar or character. Once you implement that back in and apply it, it'll all be loaded here. And I'll show you an example in just a second. Next is schedule. So this is going to be how your posts are scheduled automatically. Do you want to post Monday through Friday? Do you want to post 7 days a week? Do you want to post every other day? You can turn these on and off very easily. Next, you can actually set your posting time. So you can switch these or add more as you would like. The next page is the social handles. So this is where you can just add your handle. And the cool thing about this is this can also be used in your scripts or on your images, etc. So by putting it here, the AI will always pull the data from all of these categories in consideration with what kind of media or content it's creating to make sure it feels like you automatically. Now, if there's any hashtags that you always want included, you can actually put them here. And once again, the AI will read this and make sure they're always included in your content. Next is the music library. So you can actually upload music files here. And these music files will be accessible as you're working in the workflows so that you pretty much never have to upload music again. You can actually set it inside of the workflow to randomize the song. And that way, every video that runs through that automation will automatically get music behind it. So if we look at Scalesolo, just to show you an example of what it looks like filled out here, so we can see huge document. It says what we want them to talk about, what we don't want them to talk about. We also have the voice training, which is you can post reference scripts. So let's say, for example, Alex Hormozy. You really like Alex Hormozy. You can actually come in here. You can paste the reference URL, and then you can either give it a thumbs up or a dislike. You can talk about why you like it or why you don't like it. And this is basically going to give the AI customized data on what you like and what you don't so that your scripts can keep learning to get better and better. All right, so now that we have this profile Scalesolo set up, the next thing we want to do is come to avatars. So we can see here we have ready to use avatars. Now, if we want to, we can just use one of these, or we can actually upload our own. So you can see I was doing a test already, but we'll do another test here. So I'm just going to call this test 2. And what I'm going to do is drag in an image. So let's use Amon. All right, so he has been uploaded. Now you can see here it says look 1 0 images. When you think about looks, I want you to think about the same character but either a different environment or a different outfit. So in this case, we can add another image, and the first one I usually always add the same as the cover frame. And then after that, what this would be is more like different angles, if that makes sense. So let me just show you an example with this one since I already have multiple angles of her. You see how she has one look here, but three different angles of that same look. So she's in the same place, she's in the car, she's wearing the same hat, she has on the same outfit, but different poses. Her eyes are in different places, her hand placement is different. That's what you're looking to do. Now, if you want to do a different outfit, that is when you would click plus new look, and that will add a whole new section where you can add those new images with the same character, but different outfit or different environment. Right. So to make this work, you only need one image in the actual look. Over here, you want to choose a voice. So this is actually synced to 11 Labs. So you can actually go through these voices and find one you like.
God has given you one face, and you make yourself another.
Life without love is like a tree.
Nature is a mutable cloud.
Life isn't about finding yourself.
So let's say we like this one. We can see that all these settings pop up for how we can actually tune the voice, which is really cool. So we can really customize it and make it ours. For models, I usually like to check multilingual or V3. So let's go with V3 here. And then you can actually test it out if you want to hear the voice down here. But we're good to go. So the next thing that we're going to do, now that we have the brand profile is going to sync with our avatar. So it's going to sync with test 2. The next thing we want to do is go to spaces. So there's two ways that we can work with spaces. We can either click on new space and create our blank space here, or we can use a default template. Now you can access templates here, or you can actually click this button here and access them as well. So what we're going to start with is the podcaster workflow template. Now this may look confusing at first, but I promise it's very, very easy to start understanding. Let's walk through each node really quickly, and then we'll actually run the workflow. Okay. Now this first node is called auto run. What auto run does is automates this whole thing where it will operate off of a schedule that you set here. So for an example, if I set this to run once per hour, it will run 24 times a day. So that means there will be 24 pieces of content created just based off of auto running this. Stop after n runs is your overall limit. So let's say you want to run it every hour, but you want it to stop after 2 runs. Well, that means it's only going to run for 2 hours today, and it's going to stop, right? So that is kind of like your overall limit. Now, if we up this to 20, for example, then we'd run it almost the whole day. All right, so this is where it starts to get fun. Over here is all the different nodes that you have. You have inputs. So think about an input as information you're putting into the platform, like text, audio, images, video, etc. The avatar in this case is going to be an input. So if you look here, we can see that now that we created test 2, the avatar is going to be picked up. So we can actually use that avatar now, and we can see that the look has one image, which we added. And then we can also say single image for the strategy, since we only have one image in there. But let's say if we switch to Kara, you see how now it says look 1, 3. This means there's 3 images in that look, which means that we can use something called randomize. When we use randomize, when the video is generated, it's going to change angles as if it was shot from different angles, which actually, just adds a more realistic feel to it. Next, we have all these generators. We have voice generator, which is going to use 11 Labs to create a voice for you. We have a script generator, text, titles, captions, hashtags, image, avatar video, stitch videos, and so much more. So let's walk through the rest of this workflow, and I'll kind of show you how it works. Now, the first thing you want to do when trying to create an avatar video is use a script generator. So you want to use a script generator because we need to create the words that are going to be used with your character, but we want them to be authentic to your character. So how do we do that? Well, there's 2 ways you can do it. The first way is going to be to use the auto prompt section here. So if we were to remove this completely and it was just a blank node, what we can actually do is click on auto prompt, and you can see it says pick a fresh angle for a short form script for at your brand, right? So now we can look through this and we can see all these different ideas that it gives us. Now, if there's anything in it that you really don't see that you like, then what you can do is just start fresh. So we can literally remove this and say, pick a fresh angle for a short form script for at. And do you notice how we have these tags now, which are the brand profiles that we created before? So for an example, let's click on Scalesolo. So we'll say, pick a fresh angle for a short form script for our Scalesolo. We'll say about beating the competition by making more content quicker. Okay, so that is going to be what we want the script generator to generate the script off of. So this is the prompt. Now, remember, if we automate this, like we turn on the runs and it keeps running, the script generator will continue making new and unique scripts about the same topic, but it will be unique each time, which is really cool. All right, so here we have our avatar chosen, we have our script generator, and then the next thing we're going to do is run this workflow because now we gave it everything it needs. We have the voice generator as well. And just to make this simple, what is going to happen here is the script generator is going to create the script. The avatar is going to sync to that script. It's then going to generate the voice with 11 Labs. It's going to chop up the different pieces of the actual audio recording into multiple videos, which will be based off of your images, right? Your 3 images. So it'll change the angles for you. It's going to then generate all the videos here so you can review them separately. We're then going to stitch those videos together into one long video. And then after we do that, we're going to go to a phase called finish video. Now, finish video is really cool as well. As you just saw with Kara's videos, they all had titles. They all had titles. They all had captions. Then you can even add logos. You can add music behind them.
I used to think consistency is not about quantity across 9 platforms. It's content, whether she feels in.
So you can hear the music in the background as well there, but you can add all of those cool features in the workflow. So as you can see here, I have title source on auto. I have title overlay turned on. I have my settings already done for the title overlay. So you can play around with this, kind of see how you want it. Uppercase usually looks nice. Under captions, make sure this is turned on, and you can choose from any of these templates to actually make your captions here. You can upload a logo or a watermark and actually change where it actually sits on your video, which is pretty cool as well. So since we don't have one, we'll turn that off for now. Background music we can actually turn on, and then we can use any track we've already uploaded. So you can see here I have an instrumental, so this will be in the background of all the videos, and then you can choose the quick volume that you want it to be set at versus the actual audio of the voice. Down here we can see that from the script generator it hooks to what's called a title, caption, and hashtags node. So this is actually going to create all of the text for the post that's going to go out. So as we create the video, we still need captions, a title, and hashtags that we'll be sending to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. to post this. So it will create it here. And then lastly, we have schedule post. So we'll be able to actually schedule a post that goes out Friday, May 15th at 2 p.m. And the reason it's saying that is because if we looked at the schedule, which is right here, we can see that her content is already caught up to the 15th, right, at 9 a.m. And if we go back to brand profiles and we look at the schedule right now, it's only going to post at 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. So that is why it's limited. Now, if we open this up and add in more slots, then we'd be able to post more often. All right. So now that we know how the workflow works, just so you know as well, you can click on this at any time and it'll kind of guide you through the workflow as well to understand the steps. But let's go ahead and actually run the workflow and see what we get. So there's multiple ways to run the workflow. You can either click this button up here and it'll work through the whole workflow. You can also start an auto run, which will do the same thing, but it will stay on. So whatever settings you have here, it will continue cycling through it. Or you can run it node by node, which is by clicking these buttons individually. So let's click run up here. So we can see run started. Now you can close the tab. Let's say you have to go, or you have to close your laptop, turn it off for a little bit. This will still run server side, which is pretty cool. So you do not have to worry about leaving your laptop open. Now, while we're waiting for the video to load, because this is usually the part that may take the longest because it's actually creating a video. If we zoom in here to the script generator node, we can see the actual script that was created. There are two types of creators right now. One posts when inspired, the other posts every day, no matter what. I'm Alana, I work at Scalesolo. Here's what the data shows. The daily poster wins, not because their content is better, but because they're in the feed when your audience is scrolling. Your competitor isn't more talented, they just ship faster. One of our users went from 3 posts a week to 30 posts a month. Same niche, same offer, 10x the reach. So this is actually a really good script. It sounds on point. It's down the niche that we want, which is giving people value about content, and it would overall help us find the correct clients for the app that we built. So we can see now that it ran through the voice generator. So now let's see if we get the avatar videos. Now down here as well, we can see how the titles, captions, and hashtags were generated. So we can see the title, daily posting wins because your competitor shows up when you don't. Stop waiting for inspiration. Here's what separates winners from everyone else. Hashtags automatically ask those as well. And then first comment, which type of creator are you right now? The inspired poster or the daily shipper? So everything is on brand, everything is on point, everything is synchronized, which is beautiful. So you never have to worry again about creating content for your brand that is on point. All you have to make sure is that in the brand Bible, the brand voice section, you're as authentic as possible that first time entering the information. All right, and there we go. So now we have a video that was generated. So let's go ahead and click on this. We see it's 38 seconds long.
There are two types of creators right now. One posts when inspired, the other posts every day no matter what. I'm Alana. I work at Scalesolo. Here's what the data shows. The daily poster wins. Not because their content is better, because they're in the feed when your audience is scrolling. Your competitor isn't more talented, they just ship faster. One of our users went from 3 posts a week to 30.
So you can see the video was created directly off of the script. Looks good. The video changes angles. So now we can go to the next step, which is customizing it. And we can see that it's already actually happening here. The video is being polished. And keep in mind with the video steps, they can take a little bit of time depending on, of course, how many videos are being generated at the time, etc. So we'll give it some time to actually finish this up. You'll see the finished project, and then we'll also see it scheduled automatically to our scheduler over here. We can look at the row, we can see how the information will be sent and verify that everything is working properly. All right, and the finished video step just ended up finishing here. We can see that the run has fully finished. So this means the whole workflow has been completed. So let's check out the video real quick.
There are two types of creators right now. One posts when inspired, the other posts every day no matter what. I'm Alana. I work at Scalesolo. Here's what the data shows. The daily poster wins. Not because their content is better, because they're in the feed when your audience is scrolling.
All right, so we have the overall title that's on point, has her branding. It's consistent every single time, so you don't have to worry about resetting the colors, the fonts, the sizing of anything. You also have your captions. Everything is done done on the video automatically for you. So even the background music. So you can either download this yourself, or like I said, you can hook a schedule post node. So because we have the schedule post node, if we go over to schedule now, we can see that the newest video here is the one we just created. So stop waiting for inspiration, daily posting wins. So we can either
There are
click on
two
it here
types
to
of
play it.
creators right now. One posts when inspired, the other posts every day no matter what.
And it's automatically going to sync to our platform. So we can choose which platforms we want to sync to here, but any platform that we have set up will automatically ship that video or that content out. So once again, completely automated. So now we just created a video on our platform just by simply prompting something very simple here. And if we want this to now create, 24 videos a day, for example, we can literally set this to 1 per hour and then set the max amount of runs at 24. And that means it will run 24 times. So in one day, we could create 24 pieces of content. Now, this can be customized however you want to whatever workload that you would like. Just keep in mind, though, that you will be charged credits each time you run this on videos and tokens. So as long as you have enough video tokens and then AI tokens to actually run your workflow, you'll be able to actually do it successfully. So you can see here the cost in tokens right here is about 3,000 AI tokens. This only costs about 2,500 down here. For this one, about 1,500. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to run your workflows. But this is how you use Scalesolo. And if you ever want to go back to content you created before, you can click on the library tab and it'll pull up all of the content that you actually generated so far. So we can see our latest videos right here. We can download it if we'd like to. And we can also see that currently it's scheduled, but has not been posted. Once it's posted, it will switch from scheduled to posted here. Nonetheless, hopefully you enjoyed the walkthrough. If Scalesolo is for you, you can get a 20% off if you go to scalesolo.ai and sign up as a founding member. Looking forward to seeing what you create.